Well, it feels good to have worked at so many places on a night like tonight, to be at all the networks I was at. So it's great to see everybody here. I want to congratulate all of the honorees, an incredible class to be part of. And I want to call out Lance. Lance, I'm so happy that you're here tonight and we're doing this together. We worked on so many great shows, and I really valued your friendship. I learned a lot from you about this business and how to treat people. So I'm just really glad that we're doing this tonight. Thank you. Look. When you have a night like tonight, you have an opportunity to reflect, and also the best part about it is to say some really important thank yous. And I want to start with my parents. I want to thank my mom and my dad for having such high expectations. And that wasn't a burden, it was a blessing. My mom cold called private schools until she convinced one to give me a scholarship test. It changed my life. You know, she absolutely was just invincible when it came to doing the right thing for me and my sisters. And to my dad, who just taught me everything about loving sports, all of it. You know, my dad never said, let's go have a catch. He just would say, go grab your glove, go get the football, go get the stickball bat. It wasn't a request, it was an order, it wasn't a request. And we stayed out there until he was done, that's for sure. We go to Shea Stadium with no tickets, we'd buy tickets at the box office, we'd sit up in the upper deck, and then a couple of innings later, magically, my dad would use his badge and we'd find some empty box seats and we'd sit there. So when you're 8 years old, that's as close to real magic as you can get. I love the neighborhood I grew up in Queens and Far Rockaway. It was a real neighborhood. Tons of kids who lived on a street with 2 family houses and apartment buildings, and there was just always somebody outside. That's where we lived, outside the house. Doesn't matter how cold or warm it was. So I went to law school, not to fast forward from that. I went to law school, and you know, obviously when you do that, you think you're going to be a lawyer. And that's the incredible thing about all of this. It's just so unexpected that any of it happened. Even after more than 35 years in the business, I still feel surprised that I received the opportunities I did. There's no blueprint for it. I'm not quite sure how it happened. But I do know the most important part was I got to work with great people. I had incredible mentors and bosses. When I had an opportunity to work as a lawyer at NBC Sports, I jumped at it, took the pay cut, and took the job. Right before that, I was actually thinking about joining the FBI. I mean, I just couldn't sit still. People who know me could understand that a law firm would not be a good place for me. So now I found myself at ABC working at the same place as Jim McKay and Frank Gifford, Keith Jackson, and so many others I'd watched from the time I was young. It was just incredible. Soon after starting, Dennis Swanson moved me into the programming department. That single decision changed everything for me. An unpromising legal career ended and a broadcasting career began. I've looked back at that moment almost every day, and I've tried to approach every day since in this business with the same joy and gratitude that I felt in those first days in the ABC Sports programming department. It was just such a gift, and I felt an obligation to honor it every day since. I truly love every aspect of our business: production, the truck, working with talent, rights acquisition, scheduling, being inside a league office, creating special events, all of it. I wouldn't be able to choose a favorite job. I hope that passion has been a positive force for everyone I've worked with. I had great bosses that gave me opportunities that were not obvious. I hope that I've been the same kind of leader. Now I'd like to say a few important thank yous to Dennis Swanson for the first opportunity and showing and teaching me the business. At one point I was sitting in my office and I'd been in the programming job for just a couple of years, and Dennis said, you know, you're going to be held back in this business if you don't learn about production. So he literally sent me to Sweden, an event I had bought on the World Track and Field Championships. I went over, I was the most senior person, but I worked as a production assistant. I worked on graphics with Mark Loomis for 2 weeks, just because Dennis wanted to show me some aspect of the business. And he made sure I came into the college football studio every weekend so I could learn how operations and production worked, even though I had no real role. But it was really important, and it's rare to find somebody who thinks that way. And I'm really grateful for that. You saw some of the former commissioners, Roy Kramer and Jim Delaney, and then also Gene Corrigan and Chuck Ninus. They taught me so much about college football and college basketball. To have a job now to do the same thing that they did back in those days, it's just remarkable. Those guys were legendary in the college athletics business. They taught me a great deal about how things work, but also about passion and putting student athletes first and trying to get to the right place. We did a lot of great things together, a lot of interesting deals, including the BCS. And then Sean, you're a legend in this business and an incredible friend. You brought me to CBS. You made me an executive producer. And we packed a lifetime worth of stories into 11 years. And you're right, in your tape when you said it, there wasn't a single day that went by where we didn't end the day in Sean's office talking about, did we think we were going to get the NFL back? And then one day the NFL sent the letter over to Sean's office. We were sitting there, we opened it, and it confirmed that we had the AFC package. It was just remarkable. And the best thing about it was that Sean started calling all of the employees at CBS, all the people that had stayed, after, we had lost the NFL back. I was at ABC when that happened. But there were a lot of incredibly, talented people that had kind of weathered working at CBS without the NFL. And Sean made sure he called all of them first to say the NFL was back. And it was just a great moment. I'm glad we got to share that together. We're going to celebrate you a lot, I have a feeling, in the next few months and the next few years. To Commissioner Seelig, thank you for trusting me to build MLB Network. Just to be able to work inside a league was obviously a different experience, but there's nothing like a startup. So many talented people that we were able to hire. To John Entz, who was the first executive producer of MLB Network, he had a remarkable gift for hiring great people. Like, I don't know how he did it, because we were hiring people every day, and we made air in 6 months, but he did a really good job, and the culture of the place really stems from those decisions and bringing the talented production staff that we had, and including also the great talent. I want to thank Commissioner Manfred for giving me the opportunity to impact a game that I loved and opened up a lot of doors. Baseball was always a big part of my life. There weren't a lot of needs for 150-pound catchers, so my career ended after 4 years of Division III, but I loved the game, and have a chance to work so closely with it was just remarkable. I want to thank Laura, who worked with me both at ABC and CBS. There's no BCS deal without her. I want to thank Eileen for being the North Star of MLB Network, just creating the right culture. Thank you, Eileen. You did the same thing at CBS as well. To all the incredible colleagues I had at ABC, CBS, MLB, and now the Big Ten, I want to thank my sisters, Anna and Susan, and Chuck and Liz. Anna's still the best athlete in the family by far. To Olga, thank you for your spirit and your love. And finally, to Danielle and Allie, I'm incredibly proud of you both. And the best part about all of it, we got to do it all together. So thank you, everybody. Congratulations to everyone else.